Hangman Page is doing the Cody Rhodes stipulation, except it's gonna work, but not in the way you're thinking. So during the face-to-face between MJF and Hangman Page, Hangman said if he can't defeat MJF at Revolution, then he will never challenge for the World Championship again. Not as long as MJF is champion, but forever. And if you've been watching AEW since its inception, this was the first major story in the AEW championship scene, with Cody Rhodes in this role saying he will never challenge for the AEW title ever again if he lost to Chris Jericho, which he did. This was due to the fact that Cody Rhodes, an EVP with AEW, didn't want to be shown abusing his power. However, it backfired because fans started to turn on Cody because it looked like he was just setting up for a heel turn for an eventual AEW title run, but that never came. So understandably, the fandom is trepidatious over this stipulation because we've seen it before and not work out. However, what if I told you that Hangman utilizing the stipulation is going to do something that the Cody Rhodes stipulation didn't, and that is actually going to work out in the end? It's not Hangman winning the championship. In fact, I think the opposite is going to happen. I think he's going to lose to MJF and never challenge for the World Championship again. But because he said this stipulation doesn't mean it's going to stick. The biggest Achilles heel for Cody Rhodes never to be able to challenge for the World Championship again is that a lot of people thought it was a storyline that was setting up for something greater. And that's the advantage that the Hangman story has over the Cody Rhodes one, is that this can actually set up a Hangman story with him eventually turning heel and going back on his word. Hangman said in his promo with MJF that he and MJF are one and the same. Both of them love AEW, but also share the same qualities of trying to be accepted. But that also means that Hangman, deep down inside, feels like he's a scumbag. And while Hangman will be gracious in defeat and won't challenge for the AEW Championship for a while, that's going to start to slowly but surely eat away at Hangman, and as a result, it's going to turn him into more of a crazed person, obsessed with being the main character once again. It's not only a great way to segue into Hangman's next big arc in AEW, but also set up other players like Kevin Knight and Mike Bailey into more of a main event setting, because they are Hangman's tag team partners. Now, it's very possible that AEW can fumble the storyline. However, if they learn from their mistakes with Cody, they can actually make this worthwhile for the Hangman Page arc. What are your thoughts on the stipulation of Hangman saying he will never challenge for the World Championship again if he loses the MJF at Revolution? Let me know.